Hey guys, it's Megan, and today I'm going to do a different video. Today I'm going to do a different video than what I usually do, but it's still gonna be interesting, so let's get into it. Gotta grab my notes here. Okay, so I am going to tell you guys all the things that I have experienced that I should have died. Yes, I should have
died.
I have been through a lot, and not necessarily bad, just really freaking weird things that I shouldn't be alive right now but am, so thank you God. But yeah, they're really weird and I wanted to share them with you guys. So let's get on with it. Number 1. So we're driving home from camping at Hillsdale, right? And so it's raining, it's actually pouring outside. So we have my dad's car, which is like my brother, and my sister and my dad, and then there's my mom's car, which is me and my little brother and my mom. And so we're like this close, right? We're like we're like 2 feet in between each other.
Can you cut that out?
No.
What? That's not nice.
You shouldn't have done it. I told you I was filming.
But I like bothering you.
Bye. Okay. So the cars were like 2 feet in between each other, right? There was like barely any space at all. Not even like a human couldn't like lay across. You know what I mean? Like it was like short distance. And a lightning strikes right in between our cars. Like all of a sudden, I just see white. Like it's just like, oh, it was the weirdest thing because then I look up because I was reading a book, right? So I'm like this, and it's all white. It's like boom, and then I look around, and me and my brother are like, whoa, and I was like, Mom, and she's like, there's just lightning strike between our cars, and my mom doesn't like driving alone in the storm, which is why we were so close. Like my dad and my mom were so close, but we brought 2 cars because my mom came in late, and my mom and my brother came in late, so we had 2 cars, so we obviously weren't gonna leave one, so that's why we were so close. So and then that happened. Yeah, that was scary. Number 2, this one I don't think I would have died, but it was just really creepy, weird. So number 2, I was vacuuming my room and I had laundry all over the floor. I guess I don't know, I guess I was getting hot, so I took off like my sweatshirt, and it got sucked up in the vacuum somehow. I guess, you know, when you like take off the vacuum, you're using a vacuum and there's like that tiny little straw so you can get like in the corners and everything, you know, like this. So I was using that, so I guess the other side, like the big side, you know, where you're like, that part, I guess that got sucked in, the sweatshirt got sucked into like the actual base part of the vacuum. I'm smelling something like really gross, and I'm like, what the heck? So I turn around and I just see it like sucked in the sweatshirt, and I'm like, so I like had to turn it off. I got it off, and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the sweatshirt that I have. I got it from the Creation Museum. So it looks like this, and from the outside, it doesn't look like it got shredded or like sucked up, you know? But it got right around right here. You can literally feel it. Here. Okay, so I'll turn it inside out because that's when you can actually like see it. So right here, there's like some marks. Right here, like I guess just like iron marks that are because it melted the sweatshirt. So it looks like this on the inside right here. So that's where it got melted by the vacuum. So. Number 3, I was in a plane crash. Yup. So my uncle, my dad's, like his whole family pretty much lives in Arkansas, and so his sister's husband, which is my uncle by marriage, he was like a registered pilot, or licensed pilot, I guess you should say. So he has a boat and jet skis, and he has a plane, you know, because he wanted one, so he has one, and so he flew it many times with us, you know. We go from Kansas to Arkansas so many times for trips because it's free, number 1, and it's just easy, you know, so we could get there back and forth instead of driving like 12 hours. So we did that all the time, you know, because we went there for the summer and everything. So he drives, because we have an airport, we have like a mini airport, right, like 2 miles from where I live, because, you know, Kansas. So he just drops us off there. He drives he flies his plane there, we stop, and then we drive there. My parents drive us there, they drive back home, which is like a 2-minute drive. And then we fly to Arkansas, and they have their own like landing, literally, I'll explain that. So, I had a bad feeling. I always have a bad feeling when I went with him, just because I was nervous, you know, because I'm a little worrier. Not because he was a bad pilot, I just didn't like, I don't know, it was a small space. It was a 4-seater plane, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. I will put a picture. It looked like this. When we took off, it freaked me out a little bit. When we landed, it freaked me out a little bit. So when we took off, it was a little bumpy. Obviously, you're like, you know, from like, just from the grass or the pavement that you're on, you know, just like, that's normal. And I've ridden on a plane before this, and I have after, So we get up there, right, you know, it's great, it's fine, and it's beautiful, I love it, you know. We have these big headphones so we can talk to each other, it's great, and it's like a 3-hour, it's a 3-hour trip from Gardner to Arkansas. And it's not that bad, you know. So we get in Arkansas, and we're right next to their house, and they live in the country, and I'll show you what their land looks like. So they have their house right here, and then like there's their landing all across like that, and their house is like kind of on a hill. So they have all this landing, and then right here's a giant hill where their house cuts off, because there's a giant hill right here, and that's where the landing cuts off too, and their hangar's like right halfway between the house and like the beginning of the landing. So it's a perfect, you know what I mean, usually he stops at the very beginning of the landing, comes down and goes into the hangar, which is right here. But instead, he lands where the hangar is, which is the halfway point. And so we're like going and we're like rolling into this hill that we're gonna hit. So he tries to like circle stop, which is when you're like, you know, when you're in a car and you try to stop and you go, you know, you turn a little bit to stop. So that didn't work. So we're like turning and flipping out, blah, blah, blah. And so we hit the hill that I was talking about right here. We actually hit a willow tree, which saved our lives. But you know, we didn't know that. So it's like a 2-second thing. I look at Allie, my sister, and we're just like, and then it happens like, blah, 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 like that's literally what it felt like. It's just blah, blah, like that. And I didn't have my headphones in, which they're like big, like monkey headphones. They're like big. She did. And right next to us is plexiglass for the window, and you can open them, but like they open like this instead of rolling down. So we're like rolling into the hill, right? And so one of the wings of the plane came in, like, so here's the plane, right? So here's the wing. It came in like that, I guess, like it folded in and it hit Allie in the head because it went through the window. And Allie's head hit mine, her headphones hit my little ear, and I hit my head on the window and it cracked open. Not my head, the window cracked open. Yeah, my head's fine. And I just remember it was like a 4-second deal. We just feel like, blah, 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 like that. And all of a sudden, like, I was like, and all I could remember is like, there's just dust everywhere and I just smelled pine. And I was like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously so shocked. And my uncle's like, is everyone okay? And we're like, yeah, like, you know, I'm fine. You know, like, I was, like, nobody cried because it was so, like, instant. And all of us were like, wow, that was, like, insane. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, we're just kind of shocked. And so I'm like, I'm claustrophobic. So I was like, okay, I need to get out of here. And so one of the plane side, my sister's side, is to the tree, the hill, so we couldn't get out that way, which was where my uncle was too. And so me and my brother were on this side, which is where, like, the open land was on the landing. So the other wing also fell down over a little bit, so like half of the door, the bottom of part of the door would open when I kicked it, but the top wouldn't because of how the wing was. So like, I had to kick open more of the window and put one of my legs through the window to lift up the wing, and my other leg to kick the door open. So like lift the wing and kick the door open. And one of their neighbors came, like, across the way somehow, and we still don't know how he got in that fast, but he did somehow, thank God. So he helped us, like, all get out and everything, and we got all of our stuff. I still don't know how it didn't blow up. Nobody still knows how it didn't, like, explode, but it didn't. I wish I had proof, because so many people are gonna be like, you lied. Like, no, it happened, and I wish I had pictures and videos. Like, back, like, it was 2016, I wish I had a picture. Like, or something, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't, sorry, I don't. but it happened. It was scary. Nobody died. My sister went to urgent care because she thought she had a concussion, which she didn't. Everyone was fine, but yeah, I almost died in a plane crash. Number 5, I was in a car crash like 4 months later. Gotta love my spin luck. So this time, my dad picked me up from school at like 9 a.m. I was going to the orthodontist to get my braces tightened, and then I was going to go to get my permit to drive, and then, gonna go to eat and then go back to school. Well, it was like March 29th. Actually, it was March 29th the day because I got my permit too. So it's March 29th, and the whole week it's just pouring down rain. And I mean like pouring, like you can barely see outside. It's pouring so much. Like it was awful. So my dad comes to pick me up, and this is why I hate driving in rain, or like even being like a passenger when I'm in a car in rain because of this. But so it's pouring down rain, and I usually love rain, like at this time before I like almost died. So it's just like chill, so we're driving on the interstate. My dad's going like 30 on a 70-mile interstate. So because it was like so bad, and we're in like a 1999 Toyota car. So it's a little old, but it works, you know what I mean? It's a stick shift, and we're only going 30. And like not many people are in front of us, It was just really bad. And so all of a sudden, the back of our like car tires lift up, and we just turn, and I mean just like woo woo, like we were literally turning. Our whole car was just turning around and around, and we were hitting. There was no guardrail on this side. We were driving like this. And this is like the grass area where there's like that big like dip where like if you roll down you'll die, and then there's like the cement with the other road going the like opposite way of you, So we keep on hitting this side, and we don't roll off. Like I still don't know how we didn't, but again, like God's got me for something else. So we didn't hit that side. Luckily we didn't roll down and die. We just keep hitting the cement like rail over here to like stop from like the two traffics like going opposite of each other, hitting each other. So we keep hitting the cement over here, and I'm hitting my head on the window every single time. And we finally stop on the cement, like on the other side, right here, Like, I'll show you guys a picture. So like this, we keep hitting on the cement side right here. And we finally hit like this, our car like this. And I also don't know how we didn't hit any other cars. Like no cars hit us while we were like frantically spinning around 360s, but we didn't, thank you God, again. So we stopped, and me and my dad just looked at each other. We're like, whoa. I was like, my head hurts so bad. And his chair like went like this, like from up here, and went all the way down to like sideways. So he was like, he had to drive like this. Like he went from driving like this to driving like this the rest of the way. It was fun. Oh, my toes. Okay. Oh, my paper. Oh. So my dad is like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, So he gets at the back of the car, inspects the car. Nothing is wrong with the car except for the back fender flew complete, like it was like half off. It was like really half off. That was the only thing wrong. No scratches, which was like insane. But the only thing that got scratched up and awful was the fender for some reason. So we took the rest of it off and threw it in the back seat, and we drove off because we were like not bloody, And so I keep looking at my head. It was right here, and I'm like, Dad, like, ow, like this hurts. It's getting really bad. And so he looks at it. He's like, oh, that's bad. So we first drive to my orthodontist appointment. I get them tightened. Took like 10-20 minutes. Then we drove to the DMV to get my permit. I took my test. I only missed 5, which is like what you can barely miss to pass, but I passed with a concussion, mind you, which I'll get into later. So then after I got my permit, picture here, I went to go eat at Chili's. I think we went to go eat at Chili's with my dad, and I'm like, dude, my head hurts so bad. Like, ew, it's gross. It's getting purple. And so he's like, okay, let's go to the doctor. So I go into urgent care, and they're like, yeah, you have a mild concussion. And I'm like, that's great. I'm glad I passed my test with a concussion. I must be smart. I'm just kidding. I'm actually dumb. So yeah, I got a concussion from that, and then 2 weeks after that, I wouldn't go to school in the mornings because my head would hurt so bad in the mornings for some reason. So I just didn't go to school for the half mornings, which was good because I had choir, so I was able to miss it. Like, it wasn't a big deal, But yeah, so I was in a car crash and I survived. So this one was recent. Okay, so it's after school, like I think it was last month. I come home from school, and I'm like, this is nice, you know, like it's a good day, you know, literally just a normal day after school. And I go out to do my chore in the kitchen, and I smell something. I'm like, what is burning? So I like, cook in the oven, I smell the oven, I'm like, no. So I go to the washing machine, go to the dryer, I'm like, what the heck? Like nothing, you know? So I go to the heater and the fireplace in our living room, I'm like, what the heck? So I look over at my couch, and I see the smoke coming off of the rail, like the railing. So I look over to my couch, and I see on the arm of the couch smoke coming off, and I'm like, what? So I go over there, and there's an extension cord, and the block of the extension cord has a USB output for like phone chargers, and so there's a phone charger in there, half in, half out, that's charging our iPad, and it's smoking, and it's melted onto our couch, and I'm like, oh, that's a problem. So I'm like, Max, get in here, like, oh, and he's like, what? And I'm like, it's literally the house is gonna burn down. So he comes in, and he's like, so bad. It was really, really bad. And so we unplug the, not the USB, that thing was freaking smoking. We unplugged the USB, not the USB, we unplugged the extension cord from the wall so it wouldn't like get any more heat. And I'm like, oh Lord, what do we do? Because it's literally like the plastic that was covering the USB like for the charger melted completely off and onto our couch. And it was like burning the couch. And then I unplugged the charger port from the iPad so the iPad wouldn't get, I don't even know how I don't know how it's getting charged, but it was. And so it's like half in, half out. All the wires are, oh, it was so scary. And so after it cooled off a little bit, it smelled awful. So we're opening all the windows, you know, we pick off the charger from the couch, which is, it's just like so stringy and it was bad. And we're trying to get it off the couch, you know, we got like as much off as we could. There's still a little brown spot, but it was like a black leather couch. So it's not like that noticeable, but it was definitely noticeable when the white stuff, the white plastic was burning off it. But yeah, so yeah. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so we went to Canada for like every August we go to Canada because my mom's from Canada. We have aunts, uncles, we have people in Canada, right? So we go to my uncle's lake house. We spend the week there before school, and it's great, you know, like woohoo. So we're driving home, and we go to Mount Rushmore. We go to Devil's Tower. We go to all these cool places, you know. I'll insert pictures. So we went to Mount Rushmore first. And then we went to Devil's Tower, and then we went to Crazy Horse. And so Crazy Horse and Devil's Tower, like in the Badland, like nobody's really around them except for the tourist parts that are like literally in them, you know what I mean? Like they're right next to them. Everywhere else, like if you drive like 2 miles out, it's just like nothing. Literally like land, just nothing. So we're driving home from going to Devil's Tower. We went hiking for free. It was so beautiful, so amazing. And we're driving home, and all of a sudden, like, you know, we're hungry, we haven't had dinner yet, and it's like 7 o'clock. And all the hotels nearby are stocked up because it was like bike week or something. Like something big was happening with like 50% off discounts. So all these bikers are up there and there's no room for anyone else. So I'm like, great. Our family's like, what are we gonna do? So we just keep driving and we see this nasty run-down motel. Like a motel. And it says like, new air conditioning, new Wi-Fi, just put in air conditioning. Like, if you just put in air conditioning, like, how bad, like, anyways, so it's gross. So we drive in, and we're like, we have nowhere else to go, you know what I mean, like, what are we gonna do? So we drive in there, we get a room. The room was, like, so bad. The bathrooms were, like, yellow, that kind of old 80s color, and they had, like, brown rust in them. It was just nobody was showering that night. It was just awful. Like, it was gross. No one liked it. It was bad. It was bad. And we're like, what about for dinner? So my dad's searching around, you know, and there's literally no place. And so at the motel, there's popcorn and like Airheads, you know what I mean, like M&Ms. There's literally nothing else but legit junk food. And so we have apples, like 2 apples, 3 oranges, and a whole bunch of Canadian candy, Canadian cookies, all that. Cause, you know, we come from Canada, we bring, you know, stuff back for our peeps, you know, like OG. And that's all we have for eat. So we eat like cookies, and my parents eat the 2 apples and oranges, and we eat like cookies and candy for dinner. So yeah, I didn't almost die, but like that was just, you know, our family. So we're driving home from Branson, just for like some vacation with my cousin probably, because we stopped there, Arkansas and Gardner. between Arkansas and Kansas, there's Branson, which is Missouri. So we go there all the time. So we're driving home, and we feel this weird in the car, and all of us are like, "The heck was that?" You know, like, So we pull over, and one of our headlights is gone, and we drove over one of our headlights. One of our headlights came off of our car, and we drove over it. And like, our cars are already disgusting and like run down, you know, because we're like, we don't have money. So we're like, great, like, that's lovely. How are we gonna get home? So we literally just kept on driving home. Like, the bulb was still there, but like most of it was off. We had a bulb for the blinker and the thing, so like it was off, but like it was still like legal. You know what I mean? So like we drove home without barely a headlight. So we have an outside grill like most people, and my dad's making some hot dogs, you know, hamburgers. It's pretty good. We're grilling, and I look over and I'm like, Mom, why is the fire coming out of the grill? She's like, oh, that's normal. That happens when you're burning meat and stuff. Not burning. When you're grilling meat. And I'm like, okay. So my dad goes out there, you know, walking out there, and he's like, grab the fire extinguisher. I grab this, you know, and all of us are like, oh my gosh, we're like dying. And I was scared because I was like 10, you know. I'm like, oh my gosh, the house is gonna burn down. Like, ugh. So we get it under control, we put it out and everything, but I'm just glad it didn't explode because we had propane gas right next to it, so like if that would have touched it and like burned it, like we would have all died in an explosion, like, bye-bye. So yeah, our grill caught on fire, I almost died. Our oven caught on fire. My mother does this literally all the time. When she's taking something out, she won't use the cute little oven mitts, she will use a towel. She will grab the towel, you know, like for your hands to dry out, and she'll take it and she'll grab the stuff out, and the towel will touch the oven, obviously, and it'll burn, and it'll literally like light up because, you know, it's cloth, dry cloth, touching 400 degrees, like it's gonna light up. She does this so frequently, like literally all the time. She will do this. She doesn't do it as much anymore as she did like a couple like ways back, but she did it all the time. Literally, she probably like burned and ruined like 7 towels. Like, I'm not even kidding. Okay. So that's it for my crazy weird times I should have died video. I love you guys so much. Please like and subscribe this video because I need more subscribers, because I want to reach out to more people, because I love you guys. 65 subscribers that are subscribing me. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I love you guys so much. Like, real OGs, you know, you're still there with me. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Oh, comment what was your best favorite weird story that I should have died in. Love you guys. Bye.